So what would your day look like today if you were a consistently profitable trader? You've already made millions of dollars and you don't have to worry about making money anymore. What would you do today? Where would you wake up? In what country? What would your day look like? Would you go hit the gym? What would you have done today? Ask yourself this. And then ask yourself, is that so different from what you could do today? Think about it. Let's say you go to work or school today, and then you're finished. Can't you do all the same stuff that you would do if you were a profitable trader? Because most people, they delay everything and think that they need to become profitable before they can do anything. But the truth is, too much spare time isn't good either, and too little isn't good. So you need to find some sort of balance. When I was first starting out trading, I was backtesting all the time and I was learning, and this is a necessary part of becoming a profitable trader. But eventually, once you have done that for some years, you have a profitable strategy, then you don't have to sit there in front of the charts all day, every day. You can do something else. And obviously, it's true, you need to make a living outside of trading. You need to do other stuff, your work, business, or school. But when you've done that, then you have to ask yourself, why don't you take some time for yourself to do stuff that you really want to do in your spare time? And it's probably because you don't feel like you deserved it, or you earned it, or you feel like you could be doing something productive to come closer to your goals. But that's actually a big trap, because at the end of the day, if you focus too much on something, it slips away. If you're always thinking about, I need to make the next trade, the next setup, I need to backtest more, I need to work more, then suddenly time passes and you get more and more frustrated. And you think it's all about discipline and hard work, but you have to ask yourself this. Do you really feel like you're productive all the time? Because let's say that, imagine when you knew you had something fun to do that you looked forward to. You probably sat down and worked really consistent, really focused, hyper focused for 2 to 3 hours, and then you knew that that was it and you had something fun to look forward to. So you didn't take unnecessary breaks, you worked really productive, and you were excited about what you were going to do. Your mind actually functions better if you have this type of balance, because you are not a computer, you're not AI. You need to do other stuff which is good for your mental health and your physical health, which again will actually lead to your mind functioning better, coming up with better ideas, being more creative, being more focused, which again will lead to more success. And do you really want to live your life in a way where you're constantly just struggling, grinding, hustling, and being more and more frustrated? Or do you want to have some sort of balance? Because actually, for me personally, by taking a step back from backtesting, not backtesting every single day for a while, for some weeks, I actually came back to the markets and I saw everything more clearly. While the period where I was just backtesting, you just start to spiral, you just lose the grip, and suddenly you go deeper down a rabbit hole and you can't zoom out and see the bigger picture. And then you focus on something else and your mind actually has time to process all the information that you learned, and then you come back stronger. And this actually also is a way of letting go of control, because you try to control everything. You think that if you just focus all the time, then you have full control over the outcome, but the irony is you don't. You can focus for as long as you want, and it doesn't mean that the market is going to give you profits. And it also gives you time to reflect and zoom out and see the bigger picture, because you quickly realize other stuff that you could be doing. You ask yourself, I already have an edge. I already know what I'm doing. Why do I feel like I need to put more effort right now and backtest so much to try to always find something new? Like, you've probably been developing trading strategies and edges for a long time, but ask yourself this. If you always switch trading strategy and none of the strategies work for a long time, why do you think that suddenly finding a new edge is going to solve your problem? Like, you have to stick with your edge and continue to develop based on that edge. You can't just focus on everything else at once. You have to focus on that edge, and you have to be selective. Most traders trade out of scarcity, but what you need to be doing is the opposite. You have to think, is this setup good enough for me to take? Not, oh, I really need this setup because I've been waiting for 2 weeks without a setup. You have to change that completely. You can't trade out of scarcity. Think about when you take an entry. You know that you could probably wait for price to retrace and give you a higher risk reward ratio, but instead you just click the button, the buy or sell button, to be 100% sure that you don't miss this trade. That's completely wrong. You need to be more selective. You need to be more picky with your trades and your entries, whatever. And you need to think that for me to take this trade, I need the trade to be really good and I need a high risk reward ratio. If not, then I'm not interested. And that's it. Doesn't matter how long I need to wait, because I can't control what the market is doing. And once you realize this, you suddenly feel like all of those days where you don't get a setup, where nothing happens, and you just open the charts, you observe for a while, but then you quickly realize that there is no edge, there is no setup today. You have to ask yourself this: why am I wasting? Like, most people put so low value on themselves that they think that they need to chase the markets. But if you actually were to put a higher price tag on yourself and your own worth, you would think, why am I even bothering wasting more time on the charts today? I clearly see that there is no setup. Why can't I do something else? Why can't I try to start a business, try to develop something else? Why am I wasting my time and energy on this meaningless market today when there is no setup? Like, it's so meaningless. Like, it's better to just close the charts and walk away with your dignity and focus on something else. Because I'm not letting a chart, if it goes up and down, control my life. Like, I want to trade when I have an edge. Those other days, I couldn't care less. The market can do whatever it wants. And then I focus on something else. And at least if I try to do something else and it fails, at least I did everything I could do. But again, when you go into the markets, you don't have control, and you have to accept that. It's like going, it's like you're trying to do something, but in order to participate, you need to put some sort of handicap on yourself. That's what trading feels like a lot of the time. Because even though you want to do something, you just can't. You just have to accept the outcome. And it's really frustrating to just observe price move towards and expand towards your TP without you just because you got stopped out. But you can't always take that re-entry. You have to say, even though I'm pretty sure the market is going to go that direction, my rules, my risk management doesn't allow me to. So it's like going into something without your full capability, and that's what's really frustrating in trading. And that's why even the best traders in the world have this frustrating feeling a lot of the time, because you just have to accept that you have to let go of control. And that's why I'm telling you to try to go into a market or a game where there are no rules, where you decide the rules and you set the standard instead of just conforming to other rules, which you have to do in the market, because you are not controlling price. The price decides, the market decides, and you have nothing to say at the end of the day. So try to go into something else, start a business. It's not that difficult. It's not so difficult that you think. Just try to do something, and even if you're scared, that's good. Just that's an indication that you should actually try to develop yourself, and one thing may lead to another. Maybe what you try to do isn't what you will end up succeeding in, but it gets your foot in the door. You start to develop yourself, get new ideas, meet new people, and one thing leads to another. And if you're interested in my trading strategy, my daily market analysis, and being mentored by me, click the link in the bio to join my Discord, and I'll do everything in my power to help you become a profitable trader. Good luck.